250 kilometers north of Finland's capital, Helsinki, lies Jyväskylä, a town that every August stirs from its normal pace as a university campus to host the Thousand Lakes Rally. Rally headquarters is traditionally at the Rantasippi Hotel, Laajavuori, on the outskirts of town. And from here, crews set off on Friday evening at the start of the event. The competition is all over by Sunday morning, which makes the Thousand Lakes one of the shortest events in the World Rally Championship calendar, with just under 500 kilometers of special stages. But what special stages? It is not for nothing that the rally is known as the Finnish Grand Prix. The speeds are faster, the jumps higher, the risks taken far greater, and the accolade from the Finns themselves for the winner far more than perhaps any other World Championship round. To win the Thousand Lakes Rally is every Finnish driver's ambition, and it is no coincidence that the major manufacturers who come to Jyväskylä each year have at least one flying Finn in their ranks. Scrutineering is held at the impressive ice stadium, where the crowd's attention is focused on perhaps the most famous flying Finn of them all, Hannu Mikkola. Hannu has won the rally no less than 7 times, and this year is going for a hat-trick in the Audi Quattro. He favours the 500 brake horsepower short Quattro Sport, a car that has had more teething troubles than Audi would have liked, but which they now feel is in a winning position. A second Quattro, this time the normal A2 version, is in the hands of Stig Blomqvist, fresh from his rather hollow victory on the previous Argentinian rally. Stig was leading last year's Thousand Lakes right until the final stage, when Hannu slipped past to win. Depending on which team member one talks to, depends the answer, did Stig let Hannu past on team orders? Everyone, of course, wonders if similar orders will prevail this year. A third official works Quattro, again a short version, was entered for Michel Mouton, who, with co-driver Fabrizia Pons, has not enjoyed much success on this event. Having a shorter and more relaxed World Rally Championship programme this year may give her a more competitive edge for the event. Certainly before the start, she was in a very confident mood. Probably the strongest challenge to the recent Audi domination on World Championship rallies is now coming from the Peugeot Talbot Sport team. They have Ari Vatanen behind the wheel of their lightweight, purpose-designed Space Frame 205 Turbo, which is reported as giving around 370 brake horsepower. Ari is partnered by Terry Harriman, who, like Ari, is full of confidence before the start. They have completed much practice during the previous 2 months, setting the car up for the smooth finish stages with their awe-inspiring jumps. They have led on their 2 previous World Championship outings, Corsica and Acropolis, so perhaps it could be third time lucky for a win in Finland. Lancia have not had the best of seasons in 1984. The undoubted talent of their crews cannot make up for the sheer advantage of four-wheel drive. On their home event, however, both Marco Alain and Henri Toivonen would do well with only one-wheel drive. That they will perform well, particularly Marco, who has a hat-trick of wins, is beyond doubt. They too, like Peugeot, have completed many hours of practice and will be guaranteed to give everyone a good run for their money. Heading the conventional cars are Toyota, with two Celica turbos for Bjorn Valdegaard and Juha Kankkunen. They must be considered outsiders, however, as, despite losing some weight by utilizing more Kevlar panels, and despite more horsepower, they are still heavier and bigger than their rivals, and of course, only two-wheel drive. Their commitment, however, should not be underestimated. Toyota's pre-event planning and on-event service is legendary, and any team that can win the Safari Rally at their first attempt can always cause an upset in the form book. The other Japanese marque represented are Nissan, with two 40 RSs for Pentti Ricola, late replacement for the injured Timo Salonen, Erkki Pitkinen, Peter Geitel, and Britain's Terry Cabey. A win is pretty remote for Nissan, but they do have a good finishing record in Finland and always provide good value for the spectators. Bruno Sebi was entered in a Renault 5 Turbo. A pace note expert, it would remain to be seen how he could cope with the Finnish roads, which are not quite what he's used to in his native France. More French interest was around in the shape of a trio of four-wheel drive Citroën Visas. 6 o'clock Friday evening, and the first short stage through the forest behind the Rantasippi Hotel, to finish alongside the town's trotting track. 4.5 kilometers, which Hannu Mikkola completed in 2 minutes 39 seconds. Marco Alain, 2 minutes 40 seconds. Quickest, however, was Stig on 2 minutes 36. And although the stage is short and really a spectator benefit, already the battle is on. On the Thousand Lakes, you must attack right from the start. Ari is second fastest with a time of 2 minutes 37 seconds. Valdegaard was 14 seconds slower than fastest man Blomqvist, but still beating all the Nissans. Per Eklund and Henri Toivonen share identical times, with Juha Kankkunen a couple of seconds further back, but ahead of Michel Mouton. One car not destined to go much further was Lassi Lampi's Quattro, which popped and banged its way to the stage finish, and retirement with a blown engine. Special stage 3, and Markku flies over the yumps to record fastest time, beating Mikkola by 2 seconds. Blomqvist and Toivonen share the same time, so it's Stig who holds a very slender overall lead. Ari is 5 seconds behind Markku, and during the course of the first leg is to have numerous suspension changes in an effort to obtain the correct settings. Everyone in their own way drives to the limit. The margin between getting it right and getting it horribly wrong, very, very slim. Group A is proving as competitive as ever, leading exponents being Mikael Eriksson in the Audi 80 Quattro, Mikael Sundström in a Fiat Ritmo, Britain's Tim Bryce in a Talbot Sunbeam, due originally to have been driven by Sundström, and of course Kalle Grundle in the Golf GTI. Grundle, for so long the man to beat in Group A, goes off, however, on stage 9 and is out of the rally. Tim Bryce, too, goes into retirement on stage 9 with a broken track rod end. As a beautiful sunset heralds a cold, chilly evening ahead, crews tackle the remainder of the first leg of 11 stages before heading back to Jyväskylä. Making sure that the cars will look their best for the restart the next morning, the organisers have provided a car wash at the Laivuori rest halt. Heading crews home was Marco Alain, who had a scant few seconds lead over Ari Vatanen, who in turn was ahead of Hannu Mikkola. Audi were not having things all their own way, and whilst obviously putting up respectable times, they looked appreciably slower than the leading Lancia and Peugeot. We ask Mouton's co-driver Fabrizia Pons what sort of rally they're having.
Not so nice.
Why?
We can't stay on the road so far.
Why is that? Are you just going too fast or the tyres not good?
No, we can't find. I mean, first two stages we had front right tires open. And after they put it again back, now we can't really understand. They check all and they try all. They lift the car, they put down the car.
It's still not going properly. So where are you lying at the moment, Fabrizia?
8.
The best of the conventional cars is Juha Kankkonen's Toyota Celica. Kankkonen, like most drivers, is anxious to get off to bed to snatch a few hours' welcome sleep, but still manages a few words on his rally so far.
How are things going for you? No problems?
Okay, now we changed 3 prop shafts and now the steering arm is a little bit something wrong, but not much. I think it's coming to okay.
So where are you lying at the moment then?
Now, which place?
5th?
6th.
6th, yeah.
Saturday morning, special stage 12, the infamous crests and blind brows of the Ruumäki stage. The rain, which is usually a feature of the Thousand Lakes Rally, has held off until now. Stages further on, and it's Ari Vatanen who is into the lead, putting up some incredible times to inch ahead of Markku. Behind them, Mikkola and Blomqvist swap odd seconds in an attempt to stay on terms. Blomqvist complaining, however, of gearbox problems and putting up for him a fairly lackluster performance. Henri Toivonen is having a splendid run to lie just behind them. Kankkonen sets equal time with Toivonen on this stage, his performance in the Toyota proving quite remarkable. For Michèle Mouton, the rally is effectively over when she rolled on stage 14. Although continuing for a while, she eventually decides there is no point in continuing further, having dropped well down the field. The Nissans continue to soldier on, off the pace of the leading bunch, but sounding and looking as dramatic as usual. Auricula has been having braking problems, which hasn't helped his performance, and he lies just outside the top 10, whilst Britain's Terry Cabey is holding a position in the bottom half of the top 20. Looping around towards the most northern part of the route, competitors tackle special stage 18, Kalliokoski. A lane blasts through this 17.5-kilometre stage in 8 minutes 57 seconds, the same time as Mikkola. Totally demoralizing them with a time a full 10 seconds quicker is Ari Vatanen's Peugeot. Blomqvist and Toivonen are next through, 13 seconds and 17 seconds respectively, behind the little French flyer. Again the fastest of the conventional cars, Kankkonen's Toyota, 31 seconds slower. Teammate Valdegaard shares a time with Per Eklund, whilst Erkki Pikkonen's Nissan is only just ahead of Frenchman Bruno Sebi. Auricula is having niggling gearbox problems and seems a bit off the pace, perhaps still getting used to the car. A roadside service before the lunch halt in Jyväskylä. The crowds around the Peugeot service barges showing the interest in the newcomer on the rally scene. Whilst mechanics set to and replace tyres, co-drivers check times to see just how many seconds separate the leading crews. We ask rally leader Vatanen if the early suspension problems have been cured.
that's wrong to say that I wasn't very happy. I wasn't criticizing at all, but I said that we are still learning. This is only our third rally in the World Championship, our third outing in any case, and so this is all the time which is testing for us as well. And we are learning all the time, and we are adjusting the car to the conditions, and now, for example, now the car is better than yesterday when we left the starting gap.
The two remaining Audis arrive, forcing their way through the crowds. Again, co-drivers confer. Have they made any time up, or is Ari drawing away? Stig looks as calm as ever, very rarely showing any emotion, whatever the circumstances. Hannu, meanwhile, paces around, looking deep in thought, and wondering perhaps what he must do to extract that bit of extra effort.
You look in a very pensive mood, Hannu.
Yes.
Why is that?
No, it's no reason for it.
But you don't look happy.
You know, I can't look happy all the time, can I?
Why not? But we always expect you to look happy.
Yes, it's been a whole night driving, so...
You've had no problems with the car, though? No. So whereabouts are you lying at the moment, then?
Third.
How far behind Harry?
1.5 minutes or something.
And how far is Stig behind you?
I don't know, is it 15 seconds or something?
Jyväskylä city centre and the unique stage around the streets that traditionally heralds the restart of the second half of the rally. Spectators in their thousands gather to watch the spectacle, and whilst no one takes any chances, honour for a decent performance is still at stake. Mikkola, Alain and Toivonen set equal fastest time. Their average speed, 66 miles an hour. Alain has had a new gearbox fitted at the lunch halt after losing all but fourth gear for the previous two stages, which dropped him over 1.5 minutes to Vatanen. Blomqvist is 1 second slower on this stage. Vatanen, Eklund and Valdegaard also share times, 2 seconds behind the leaders. Only 5 seconds separate the top 10, with the leading Nissans just outside this group. Special stage 24. The brief rain showers that fell earlier in the day have now passed, and warm sunshine filters through the forests. Dust has proved a problem on the event this year, and running first car on the road, Marco Alain gives it 101% in an effort to retake the lead from Vatanen. Vatanen's response was to set fastest time, 4 seconds quicker. Toivonen split the pair, beating his teammate by 1 second. Henry driving a more mature rally for Lancia than we have seen so far this year. Blomqvist, Mikkola and Eklund fill the next 3 places, albeit with 11 seconds difference between them. This is the last we shall see of Mikkola, who breaks his steering after a heavy landing and flies off the road into retirement. To compound his embarrassment and misery, the accident happened on a road he knows well, as it leads to his summer cottage. This is the last we shall also see of Bjorn Valdegaard, who retires his Toyota with a blown engine on the next stage, after losing all the water, again after a heavy landing. Teammate Kankkunen is consistently holding a position around 6th place and having a superb run, leading the conventional class and having a real ding-dong battle with Per Eklund's Quattro. The 100% finishing record of the Nissans is over. Pentti Rikkala's gearbox finally crying enough, only 100 meters into stage 24. Of the others, Pitkänen is the best place, followed by Peter Geitel, then Terry Cabey. Christian Rio is still pressing on in the little Citroën Visa, as is his countryman Sabi in the Renault Turbo, who is posting consistent top 10 stage times. 4 stages further on, and Ari Vatanen continues to dominate, setting yet another fastest time over Markku. The Peugeot still looking and sounding undramatic as it shoots off down the stage. Markku, however, is never one to give up, and apart from his gearbox troubles earlier in the day, has suffered no major problems. Stig and Henry are having a tremendous tussle for 3rd place. Stig somehow never looking his best on this rally, whilst Henry has his pride and his reputation at stake. Kankkunen is still locked together with Eklund's Quattro. At one stage, only a single second separated them. Eklund is benefiting from official Audi service, now that Mikkola and Mouton are out. Erkki Pitkänen is the leading Nissan, with teammates Peter Geitel and Terry Cabey supporting him well. Tommy Palmqvist, who had the dubious honour of rolling on stage 1, has kept the spectators awake with some exciting driving, but eventually retires 2 stages later. Bruno Sebi is now well settled into a top 10 place, slightly ahead of local Kalevi Aho in the Ascona 400. A loop of stages southwards through the night, which include 2 short rest halts, precede the early morning run back towards the rally finish in Jyväskylä. No major dramas happened during the night. Vatanen had a new turbo fitted, just to be on the safe side, while surprisingly Roland Gumpert decided Blomqvist's extremely noisy gearbox could last the distance and refused a change. As the early morning mist hangs over the final stages, Ari Vatanen and Terry Harriman bring their Peugeot 205 into a truly magnificent first place. Exactly 2 minutes behind Marco Alain and Ilkka Kivimäki. Their gearbox failure costing them time, but even so, would they have still caught Ari? We think perhaps not. Third, after a more mature performance than of late, Henri Toivonen. Fourth, and gaining enough points to clinch the Manufacturers' World Championship for Audi, Stig Blomqvist. For Audi, though, an event they would prefer to forget, being beaten by the new generation of rally car. Fifth, Juha Kankkunen and Fred Gallagher. A remarkable result, all the more impressive considering the opposition. A scant 39 seconds behind them, Per Eklund and Dave Wittek. Seventh, Erkki Pitkänen. Eighth, Bruno Sebi, another good performance. Ninth, Jouko Poisti. And rounding off the top 10, Kalevi Aho.